and welcome back to TCR. This is Golden Class. We're back here in Austria for round 8 of this season 9 in TCR Golden Class. With you again here for another beautiful Wednesday race. In this class here is BLIN-MACHINE and Dougie. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Back again for, is it round 9? No, we're already over halfway through the season. Or is it round 8? Already halfway through the season, it's crazy. But yeah, we're at Austria. See what we can do here. As we know that Failed has a massive lead as we head into the next round as well around Austria. So interesting if anyone can catch him up with the remaining races to go.
Yeah, the last couple of races have been very, very exciting with lots of close battling all over the track. And we rejoin right now here. We've got some quick times already here. We've got a 104.7 from Flip Flop Fish. I haven't seen his name around before. I'm thinking that he might be new to the league. And then we've got Jones here, who just sets a 104.9. Everybody electing to go on those soft tires. Nobody really going for any sort of a medium strategy here. So I think they're all building on what they've seen last night with Silver, with all the VSCs and the safety cars and all the different incidents. So yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out.
Interesting indeed. Yeah, I think is a new driver. I think he did join for the start. This is his first race, I believe. He started this week's first race maybe at Austria. He's starting at Golden. Already known to be competitive anyway. The 4.7 is a good start time. But as we see at the moment, a few drivers haven't really flexed their muscles. We know that Flying Jiffo will be very quick. Because the Field UX will be up there as well, so it's yet to see what they can do as well, as they all travel around the track. We've got Professional there, also returning. He'll be in Golden Class now, in Mercedes, and yeah, that's the few changes for now, but all the other people, all the usual suspects you'll know, if you see it in the West Freedoms and love, are still here. So yeah, at the moment, early days yet, 4.7 is the fastest time by Flip Flop Fish.
Yeah, very impressive coming into his very first race in this league in qualifying, setting a very, very quick lap time around here. So let's see what he can do into the race as well. I'm going to be very impressed if he can keep a high position and then maybe put up a good fight. So that's going to be very interesting to see. And I'm on board right now with Hotbread14, another name that I haven't really seen in this league up until today. But he just set the quickest first sector coming across to finish the second sector. Doesn't set a purple time there, but it does still look like he's got a pretty good run here. So that's going to be interesting to see as he's coming into the last couple of corners here. Downshifting a lot. Yeah, he's gonna abandon this lap unfortunately, but it was looking pretty good at the start, so let's see if he can do anything better later on. We've got Lataupe right now out on an out lap on a fresh set of soft tires, so that's going to be interesting to see what he's going to be able to do here. He's been a guy that I've been very interested in following in this league because he's always that sort of quiet guy in the background that you know, doesn't qualify usually very high, but then he ends up getting back into the race and back into the main positions, back out front very, very quickly. So yeah, very interesting to watch him. Who are you watching out for, Dougie?
Well, yeah, you would say the last week's winner, which was Drake in France. He did a fantastic drive around France. He'll be one to watch as well, as he did a strong effort to hold up Failed UX. Those last dying laps when Failed didn't seem to push, as you remember, in those last dying laps, and Dre did enough to hold on to that race. So he could be a one to watch as well. And Perry as well. Perry's another great driver that could actually do relatively well if the cards play in his favour. Those two drivers are strong on their day, and when push comes to shove, when you actually get their way, they could do surprising results. As you know, Perry could have won the first two races he started in Singapore and in Britain, I believe, but obviously penalties applied to Failed made him win the race. So those two at the moment are the ones to watch. Obviously, there's new drivers in Flip-Flop who just did a 4.3 as his second run. That was a decent time.
Oh, it's more than decent. I think it's very, very quick. Our quickest lap time in qualifying last night in silver class was a 1:04.8, and I had a 1:050. So, you know, very, very, very quick here compared to yesterday. Failed UX now goes with a 1:04.786, so quicker than everybody else here except for Flip-Flop, but still not quick enough. Jones is now on outlap. He just crosses the line right now to start a flying lap. Let's go around on a lap with him here, crossing as he comes across the first corner, gets a really nice cut on the inside there. Got a little bit of traffic, but manages to avoid it coming up the hill into the second corner, into the real second corner around here. This is a nice little catch here. He gets that corner really, really nicely. Gets a good run out there. DRS open. Everything he's got right now, pushing into this next corner, which is really, really hard here. It's off camber coming into the right, so it's really easy to lose the car and understeer into the corner or then oversteer on the exit. And then coming into this next corner, another off camber corner, really, really hard. You got to stick it close to the inside. And another one here. He does set a purple sector on sector 2 there. Only a couple more corners to go now. And let's see if Jones can steal this pole position away from Flip-Flop. Still lots of time to go in this qualifying session, but everybody seems to be full throttle here already. And Jones, no, he stays third.
He validated in the last corner. He went very wide there in the exit of turn 10. But no, he just improved, but he didn't improve enough, actually. That was wrong. But yeah, Jones up to P3 at the moment, failed UX P2, still on pole position, so Ferrari 1-3 at the moment. So that 4-3 looking very strong as we head to the dying minutes, well, the last 7 minutes of qualifying. Qualifying is actually relatively long here because the lap is so short. So you could effectively do 4 runs here, around Austria, if you want to do that. And as we see, we've only got 7 minutes to go. People have already done 2 runs. So still early days yet. Time is very competitive. 4.3 is a very good strong time for Golden, but can we see anyone maybe flying jumper, maybe failed going in for another run? Maybe even Jones. Maybe he just made an error. He knows he's going to go.
Yeah, we've also got people like RC and M9H Racing out on their outlaps right now on fresh tires. So there's a lot of people who are contenders in this league. And one thing that I've noticed throughout the last few weeks here is that you can't really know where it's going to come from and who it's going to come from. People just attack and they just go on the offensive, and it's beautiful to watch and it's great entertainment for us. But just like last week, as you said, we never knew when Dre was going to pull the trigger there, or I mean, Failed was going to pull the trigger there, so it was very, very interesting to watch. So yeah, I'm excited for this one today. Austria usually gives us very close battling just because it's a very, very fast track, and there's a lot of hard braking corners as well, so gives nice opportunities for overtaking, for a little bit of incidents as well, and hitting, and you know, you can spin out here pretty easily on especially these 2 corners right here, coming at the end of the second sector. So yeah, it's very exciting track here, and maybe we might get some rain in a little bit, as somebody did post that in the chat earlier.
It could be rain later on in the race. It's like everyone's going in the run. As we look at BLIN-MACHINE, he's about to start his lap to try and knock off the bit of push off to BLIN-MACHINE flying jibber second. Flying jibber, failed UX, sorry, takes turn 1 quite well. Gets a nice toe from the Alfa Romeo, looks like in front of him. Coming up to the second and third corner, M9 Racing is the car in front of him. As he gets another decent exit, and he gets a toe for good measure. So this is looking very good for BLUX if he can hook up the turn 4 section, turn 4, 5 and 6 complex. Here, gets good exit here. Going around the outside of 6, 7, 2 double left session. This is all going on. Nails the apex because it's slightly wide, but it was good enough. Moving ahead towards the last sector, can he be able to look up the last 2 corners of 9 and 10? Does. So initially, but a bit gingerly in the exit of 10 there, but yeah, it's good drive. Let's see. Does a 1:45, so only a tenth off what Flip-Flop-Fish can do. Flip-Flop-Fish is on his lap, out lap, so at the moment it's Flip-Flop-Fish still holding the pole position with that 1:43, 1:45 for Max.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a very close qualifying session as well, one of the closest I think we've seen this season. It's a very short track and it's very easy to sort of cut corners here, but then you just step it out by a millimeter and you get the lap invalidated as well. So it's a very tricky one, but it's very fun to drive around here. It's very flowy. You need to sort of ride the curbs. You need to really push, you know, full throttle for about, I would say about 40 or 50% of the lap. So it's very, very fun to drive around here, especially on this new F1 2019 game. I think they really got the speed and the pace feeling of it all really, really well. So yeah, so far Flip-Flop-Fish, we're following him on the track. He's just coming into the second sector right now, or into the end of the second sector. He's running pretty well. I didn't see any purple sectors lit up right now, but let's see what he can do around here. Runs a little bit wide around there, but does set a purple sector in the second one. So yeah, he's definitely pushing for it.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to improve his lap time. Nailed it. Does go in the last corner. Sorry, spinning in the last corner in front of him there. Still continuing on his lap. Can he break into 1:3? He does.
Wow.
Does improve by a few hundreds. 1:04.369. Definitely 1:03 is going to be his limit. So can anyone beat a 1:04.369 now?
We've got Jones on an outlap right now, and he does have enough time. I think there's a couple in the pits like Failed UX and Flying Jippo. They definitely might still have a chance to get out there and do another one.
Yeah, Flying Jippo is potentially on his final run. He's already done about 3 or 4 laps. He's done 3 runs. This is his 4th. So this is Flying Jippo final run.
Yeah, he's coming out on this run right now. Jones is about to start his hot lap for probably what's going to be the last time in his qualifying lap. Let's see how he gets first corner. He does get it pretty nicely. The back wanted to step out a little bit, but now he's going to get a little bit of traffic slash tow into this next corner, corner 2. Hard on the brakes, turning right, cutting the chicane, the corner just a tiny little bit, just touching the curb there. DRS open, full throttle from here on, all the way downhill, coming into the next corner. Hard on the brakes again, turning in. He gets it a little bit wide there and then catches the back on the exit. So not the best lap that he probably could have done, but he is still going pretty quickly here. And I think with track evolution, he might possibly get a chance to get up a couple of positions at least, but I haven't seen any purple sectors yet. But he is coming into this next couple of corners. Just one more corner to go. He needs to cut it really nicely, and let's see where this is gonna end up. He does bounce up to 3rd, so that's not bad at all. Meanwhile, Flying Jippo, I think he's on his quick lap right now. And he did set a fastest first sector.
So Flying Jippo he went too early in the exit of turn 5 there. Compromised line, he just took too much speed in the exit of 67, kind of compromised him there, and I think that's his lap gone as he realizes it. And it looks like it's going to be a P4 there for thingy, so it looks like it is going to be Flip-Flop-Fish on pole position with 1:04.3 because Failed UX isn't out, so he is not starting that. Flying Jippo is starting again. Looks like he is starting again. So Flip-Flop-Fish is still going again. Seeing if he can beat that 1:04.3, but he hasn't got enough ERS to qualify. So we'll have to wait and see if he can actually beat that with the ERS he's got. That'd be very impressive.
He does set a purple first sector, so that's very nice with barely any ERS left and running on a technically used set of qualifying tires. Now the only problem with that is he's gonna have to start on a slightly worn out set in the race, which is exactly what happened to me yesterday. And oh no, SDK Hurricane gets right in the way and Jippo is out of the session. I'm pretty sure Hurricane was actually retired, so that was his AI car driving for him, and this is why the league asks not to retire on track, because of situations like this. So, wow, that is going to be very frustrating for Flying Jippo.
That's such a shame for him, because as you mentioned, he did up the first sector despite having that low ERS, which was very impressive. But just the unluckiness there from that AI car just happening to be in the middle of the road, as unfortunate as that may be, he now starts 5th in the grid.
Yeah, and it's going to look like the newbie to the league is going to be starting on pole position. Flip-Flop Fish right now is the fastest with a 104.369. There's a couple of people going around the track, but I don't think anybody's on their fast lap anymore because it's not showing any... Oh, Seagrease might be. So
yeah,
he's coming around now, and he improves to 3rd.
Third in the grid of Seagrist. That's a surprise. We haven't seen him up as a grid high up for a while now. But yeah, P3 for Seagrist. It's a great lap there, 146. Knocking off Jones from 3rd in the grid. And yeah, that's qualifying. All the drivers finishing. Just need to wait for the other drivers to retire. But yeah, we got Flip-Flop Fish on pole position 143. It's a very decent lap there. And enough to put him on pole position. His first run was enough to put him on pole position.
Absolutely. I mean, that was the most impressive part about this. He came in, he set his first hot lap, and that was enough to put him in pole position. He just kept it from there. Nobody was able to take it away from him. Failed UX came pretty close. Jones came pretty close there at one point, but then, yeah, just didn't have everything come together for him. So the starting grid right now is Flip-Flop Fish on pole position, Failed UX in 2nd, Zegrease in 3rd, Jones in 4th, Perry the Dog in 5th, Flying Jippo in 6th, RC7 in 7th, which is nice, Latop in 8th, W in 9th, Dre rounds up the top 10, and then we've got Hotaru in 11th, Frosthacker in 12th, Bam Bam in 13th, M9 in 14th, STK Hurricane, which ended the last run of Flying Jippo, unfortunately, in 15th, Red Wing in 16th, Erect in 17th, 007 Professional 18th, Hotbread 19th, and Coleman did not set a time at all. He's going to be starting at the very back of the grid. So get strapped in and get ready for what's going to be, I hope, a very exciting Austrian Grand Prix. Usually around here, races are very, very close. There's lots of battling. There's going to be, hopefully, some exciting moments that we can watch out for. But everybody who's watching, thanks again for joining. Just a reminder, this is Golden Class TCR. We're in Austria for round, I think, 9... Yeah, round 9 of season 9. So we're halfway through the season now. We're going to have a little bit of a week off next week, and then we're going to be coming back for the second half of the season. But before that happens, tomorrow night is the Platinum Race, which is the TCR Grand Prix this season. So very, very exciting there. It's going to be on Facebook, it's going to be on YouTube and everywhere else. So please join us tomorrow. But Dougie, let's talk about this race here. So last night I noticed that, you know, the grid got shuffled up a couple of times throughout the race, and it was mainly due to you know, the safety car and battling and, you know, incidents happening on track. Not much strategy happens here in Austria in the 50% race. Pretty much everybody, I think, is going to be starting on the soft tire and then just switching over to mediums. But who are you watching out for in this race?
Difficult to say, but as we mentioned, you can't look past the Polsito, who did a very strong lap. Flip-Flop Fish did a very good lap there to do enough to get that time there, so he could be one to watch. Failed UX is also a strong contender. He's championship leader, of course. Then you've got Flying Jippo, who probably could have got pole position, but he made an error in his first run, and then obviously Hurricane's AI car kind of killed him in a run. But as we look past that, it could be anyone's race. Safety cars could happen, but as we can see, Flip-Flop Fish does lead off. We had Failed UX in second. We got Seagrease up there as Seagrease up there in P3 with Jones in P4 and Perry up into P5 there. You got Flying Jippo in P6, IC7 P7, Latop in P8, W in P9, and Dre in 10. That's all on soft. We've got Hotaru starting on the soft tires there with Frosthacker in P12, on mediums. We got Bam Bam starting on the hard tires as well on 13th. We got M9 Racing soft tires, Hurricane on the soft tires, Red Wing also on soft tires in 14th, 15th, 16th. Erect in 17th and a half, going on the mediums. Professional on the mediums, and 18th. Hop at 19th on the in the racing point there. For Softs and Coleman running out the top 20, running out the field in the medium tires. As Little Fish is starting to lead them to the grid.
Yeah, we've got lots of comments rolling in with people wanting to see people like RC, Failed UX, Seagreased, everybody, they want to see them do well. So thank you everybody who's joining our stream, and keep on those comments rolling in as we're getting ready to start this race in Austria for Golden Class of TCR. This is going to be an exciting one as we're getting ready now. Let's see if we've got any lights yet. No, there we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we go racing in Austria for round 9 of Golden Class TCR Season 9. And off the start here, we've got some people battling in the back here. Flying Jippo trying to overtake. Oh, and there's definitely contact. That was M9 Racing falling back there in all of that, but Flying Jippo manages to jump up to 5th position, so not a bad start from him. RC7 bounces up to 6th position as well from the start. As they're coming into the next corner here, RC7 is battling with W, who's being very, very close to him. In the back there, Dre is trying to make it through the field as he makes another overtake over M9H, and in the meantime, Flip Flop Fish is getting away with this one. That little incident sort of helped out the main 3 runners here. Flip Flop Fish, Failed UX, and Seagrease have more than a second in between each other, and then Perry is chasing them down. Flying Jippo behind them, RC7 in 6th, W in 7th, Dre Diggy in 8th, M9 Racing in 9th, and Hurricane has managed to make it up to 10th place, so that was a very exciting start.
I think so indeed. Just got away well actually. He had a perfect start, got away well, Failed UX as well, but there was like contact with 3 cars going wide into turn 1. Flying Jippo was one of them, Jones was the other, and he was the biggest loser out of all of them. Dropping that, got damage as well for good measure.
And he's in the pits.
And he's in the pits, yeah. So an awful start there for Jones, who started off well. In the start we got another driver, W spinning in the exit turn 1. He's now dropped down a few positions. He's got damage as well on his right hand side of his front wings. Awful start there for W there. We did well in France actually last week, so unfortunate for him there, but as you can see, Fish leading the race with Failed UX in second, but is managing the between the top 2, and that's not to pull away from Seegers at P3. Perry is up to P4. Flying Jippo is in that group in P5. Those 3 cars now starting to gap IC7, who's kind of in a world of his own, with Dre and M9 Racing in 7 and 8th. So they're trying to catch up to the runner driver there, but at the moment, yeah, Failed UX seems to get a good run here in the last sector, and DRS is enabled on this lap, and we've got more overtaking happening as Flying Jippo overtakes Perry there for P4. So he starts to go on the charge for Seagrease. He goes defensive to Flying Jippo.
Meanwhile, Failed UX sets the fastest lap as they're coming into the first DRS in this race. He doesn't seem to be closing in on him much, but one thing that I learned from here yesterday is you got to play it smart around this track. Oh, they almost touch. They do touch. He touches them into the second corner there. A little bit of a touch. Flip-flop goes a little bit wide, but then he manages to keep the position. So, wow, that was a little bit of outbreaking himself there for Failed.
I wonder if he got damage from that. It was a light tap, so I wouldn't think he got too much.
I don't see anything on the front wing, so I think he's going to be good here.
Yeah, I think he is good there for now. But yeah, it was a light tap, and it unsettled Flip-flop's car. Almost gave him a half spin there. But at the moment, everything looks stable. Gap is still around 6/10 as they starting to again pull away from Seagrease, who's now kind of in as well alone zone. As we mentioned that, we saw that Perry seemed to got past Flying Jippo there in all of that. When that was happening, is Perry is battling with Flying Jippo for P4, and that's kind of allowing Seagrease to pull away, but DRS is still enabled. Like Failed UX still has DRS, and he's got good enough ERS as well, good measure, to try and get that position back again. As he's got a fantastic drive coming up the exit of turn 1 there. See if he could be able to get a good run onto the entry of turn 3. As he does overlook, as we had look at that as Flying Jippo and Perry going side by side into turn 3.
Yeah, we were actually following him on board, so we saw all of that happening there. They're still battling with each other, and Perry still has DRS on Zegrease as well,
yeah.
so they're very, very close. Oh, and Failed manages to get in front of Flip-Flop Fish.
Yeah, as we were watching that, it's like they're both having service at the same time. But yeah, as we saw all that, Failed UX takes the lead. Which lots up a little bit, trying to break a little bit later, trying to get Failed UX a bit unsettled there. But at the moment, Failed UX steals the lead on lap 4 of the race. Flip-Flop will try and get that position back, but at the moment Failed UX now leads the Austrian Grand Prix. Zegrease is still on the well his own. Perry is still there or thereabouts with Flying Jippo, but they're now starting to catch Zegrease in P3. Can Flip-Flop Fish retaliate now? Can he be able to get past Failed UX? He gets straight line speed is very good there in the entry in turn 1, so it's going to be a slam dunk move. He can get this move done.
This is going to be very, very close here as Flip-Flop Fish is going to the inside around Failed UX. He manages to pull up pretty close beside him there on the braking, and he manages to get in front. And now, is he going to get the DRS here? No, it looks like neither one of them got the DRS, which is very weird.
Failed got the DRS there, but it's neutralized it for him. Flip-Flop Fish, he went too deep. He went way too deep, popped up his rears, and Failed UX takes the lead of the Grand Prix. So a small error there from Flip-Flop Fish.
And behind them, this is all allowing the group behind them to catch up. Now Perry, Flying Jippo, and Dre, and behind them also, I think M9 is also trying to catch up to the main group now too.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that is Flip-Flop Fish.
Zegrease goes for a move around Flip-Flop Fish now, and he manages to get around him. I think Flip-Flop Fish is getting his tires overheated or just losing tire wear, and he's just not being able to keep his positions. He's starting to drop back, and now Perry is making a move on him now too into corner 1. He's gonna try and he was almost there to make a move on Zegrease at the same time.
Yeah, and Dre all of a sudden is now getting past his teammate there for P5. All of a sudden, where did Dre come from? Actually, that being said, so this is all crazy. Flip-Flop Fish lost so much time in the last sector, the middle to the last sector, and now he's dropped down to P4. We've got Flying Jippo struggling with his teammate coming up into P6,
and Perry is now up to second, and Zegrease and Flip-Flop Fish are battling.
Zegrease and Flip-Flop Fish battling, and now, that's dropped Zegrease down to P4 now. Perry's now back up to P2. This is all allowing Failed UX to pull away now. Gap to 2 seconds as all of this is going on. The two McLarens are still in the wars at the moment with Zegrease there or thereabouts. But a lot happening after the first 6 laps as Failed UX now leads to Grand Prix by 2 seconds from Perry. Flip-Flop Fish in 3rd, and Zegrease in P4. As Flying Jippo loses the back end there, so he's struggling a lot on this his tire wear. He's losing the back end. Maybe his brakes are not in the right place. Dre gets a good run into turn 1, and he does get the move and makes the move stick. He now takes up to P5, and now Dre is now on the charge for Zegrease.
Wow, so the two McLarens here locked into a battle. I think, they could be using this to their advantage to move themselves a little bit forwards and get a couple more positions here. As now we've got pretty much, Flip-Flop Fish right now is trying to make a move on Perry here, coming into the middle sector. He's close enough, but just not exactly in the right position there, and he took that corner a little bit too close, so he's going to stick around him, but I think he's going to try and make a move probably in the next couple of corners here or coming into the next DRS zone, as Perry seems to not be having a fun time on his tires right now either.
Yeah, there seems to be, at early stages, these tire wear issues seem to be affecting the top drivers as well, except for Failed UX, but Failed UX is on his own at the moment, but Perry is now slowly starting to catch Failed UX now after all of this has happened. Flip-Flop Fish is now starting to stabilize his issues, and he seems to be on form again, as Perry now seems to be helping him out there. Zegrease is now under pressure from Dre, as Dre is side by side with Zegrease there in the exit into the entry of turn 2, now coming up to turn 3. As he gets the move done, and just about, and Dre takes the position up into 4th place. Dre is the fastest McLaren of the 2 at the moment, as he is on the charge as we look to the top 2 as well, as Perry goes defensive in the inside of turn 4. And everything looks okay for now. Yeah,
Lots of battling on track right now, all over. We can't even keep up with all of it, but mainly we've got Flip-Flop trying to chase down Perry back for second position. He started on pole and has dropped a couple of positions as Perry there loses the back, catches it just in time, but goes a little bit wide, touches the grass, and now we've got Flip-Flop Fish closing into him, trying to be as close as possible coming into this next DRS zone. But yeah, he started on pole position and quickly dropped a couple of positions after about 3 laps or so, and then since then he's just been trying to fight back up the field, but failed UX just as always, just as we've seen him in the last few weeks, coming out of nowhere, very calm, very collected, very consistent, just stealing the lead out of this race. As long as we don't see any... As long as we see any safety cars, he's got a pretty good gap, as we've got Flip-Flop Fish trying to make another move on Perry, but you just can't get it right into the... out of the second corner.
Yeah, as we were talking about all of this, Perry is still defending on Flip-Flop Fish. Flip-Flop Fish tries to go around the outside, see if he can make this move stick. He gets a good run, but Perry shuts the door on him as they try and continue on into turn 5, and it's Perry still holding on to that position in second place. He's doing everything he can, as this is allowing now Dre to come in. Dre is now all of a sudden on the charge for a podium here, in the podium positions here. As we were mentioning, that Flying Jippo got past Seagrass before P5, and now has to start to catch into this pack of the second, third, and fourth. As Perry still holds on to second place, and Fish is still trying to attack for that second place at the moment.
Yeah, they're riding in a nice little train over here from Perry, Flip-Flop, Dre, Flying Jippo, and then Seagrass behind them. So yeah, they're all locked into this battle right now. We're getting close to the point where some people are going to try and see what sort of strategy they're going to run. Oh, Perry managed. Oh, he still keeps the position, but that was definitely very deep.
This allows Dre to get him a good run. Dre gets a fantastic run. Flip-Flop actually got ahead there and missed TRS point, so this might actually allow him to get the position. Dre goes around the outside for try and hold that stick around the other side. Fish tries to cover him off, but gets a poor-ish exit from the exit of his rear tires, but still holds on despite that. But then still makes another error. He goes wide, and then Dre now steals the position going in the inside, so Dre now takes P3. So another error there for Flip-Flop Fish. He made his third error in the space of 10 laps. Now dropped the position. Can he be able to get that back? But Perry looks like he's about to pit, so Perry pits.
Yeah, and Flip-Flop Fish is going to following him in as well, and this is what I was talking about. This is a nice time in the race. If there's no safety cars or anything coming out up until this corner, the only other choice that you can make is doing like an undercut. So I think this is what they're trying to go for here.
You just mentioned that Flip-Flop Fish that they lost it in the pit entry and broke the pit lane marker there. We saw that, but yeah, they will make it a pit stop, says Perry.
Oh, Flying Jippo makes a touch on Dre, and they both have a half spin, and that allows Seagrass to get in front of both of them. A little bit of drama between teammates.
Drama between teammates as Seagrass now steals the position, as they've been fighting all race long, and at the moment, yeah, Seagrass taking P2 from the two McLarens, caught the sleeping as they're going around there. VelGX now has a 5.2 lead. These two are now still fighting for what they can for these positions. But yeah, at the moment,
that was very interesting.
Yeah, Seagrass now to second place.
And it looks like Dre is gonna go into the pits now. He's sort of aiming for it. Yeah, he's definitely going in.
He does.
So
Dre pits.
That's going to move Seagrass into second position, and Flying Jippo is going to go for another lap as they don't want to double stack, obviously. But this gives Flying Jippo a little bit of a chance to catch up and possibly get a little bit of time back on his teammate and maybe get ahead. So let's see what's going to happen in that one. This seems to be the closest battle on track right now, except for Bam Bam, who's catching up on 007 Professional, who actually started in 18th place. So he's running the long strategy in this, and it's so far working out for him pretty well.
Yeah, working out pretty well at the moment. We didn't really talk about them in fact at the moment, but that's now starting to come into play as we look at Bam Bam overtaking Professional there for P7, yet to pit. As we mentioned that Bam Bam wasn't on hard tyres, he is looking at the long run here as this is going on, as there's more overtaking. Perry overtakes Erect.
And Flying Jippo overtakes Seagrass for second position.
Dre and Flip-Flop Fish still battling there, as they would have been battling all race long.
Oh, and Flying Jippo loses the back, and Seagrass gets back in front again.
Yeah, as you were mentioning that, Dre gets past Flip-Flop Fishes for actual genuine position. As you mentioned, Seacross does the Flying Jipper does pit. He does pit, so he will come out in the midst of Dre and Flip-Flop Fish's battle.
So this is going to be very, very interesting. So far, we haven't seen any major incidents, but a couple of taps here and there, a couple of half spins. But I think one main thing that we forgot about is going to be a factor on this track is penalties. I've seen a couple of people that already have a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. One person had a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane, so that might come into effect later on as 007 Professional now gets in front of Bam Bam. So he's really pushing it right now. How far do you think he could push those medium tires?
You could probably push them to 25 laps or so, but as you mentioned tyre wear, Dre and Flip-Flop are still battling. They're still going side by side as they go into the entry of turn 1, but yeah, you can take the mediums about 25 laps. They can go as long as possible, but they're still going side by side going into the entry of turn 5. And yeah, it's a very interesting battle going on right now between the McLaren and the Ferrari drivers. At the moment, as failed to vex, the race leader pits and Seagrass driver also pits as the Tope now inherits the lead from the Grand Prix with Frostacker and Coleman in P2 and P3. So all this is happening, and yeah, it's quite hectic right now. We're only in lap 14 already.
And Frostacker is going down the inside into corner 2 around Le Tope. Is he going to be able to keep this position? He is, and he gets in front now. So this is turning out to be very good so far for him. But then Le Tope's got the DRS. He's already right on his back spoiler, and he's trying to go around the outside. Nope, it seems like Frostacker is gonna keep this position for now, but Le Tope is still running on the soft tires. He hasn't pitted yet.
He hasn't pitted yet, but what I haven't noticed is that Perry has now inherited the lead. Veldurex comes out behind Perry, so Perry's laps have been very strong, and now Perry inherits the lead from Veldurex into second. So and Dre is up to P3 now with Flip-Flop Fishing to P4 and P5. That's your net leaders right now, and yeah, so a good in-lap out-lap, and Perry undercutting Veldurex there for the lead of the Grand Prix. Can he? Veldurex on the pressure tires, so he's catching, so he needs to get past as quickly as he can if he wants to win this Grand Prix.
Absolutely, and Flip-Flop Fish is catching up on Dre. Dre is going to be defending as much as he can because they're technically running for position on track right now, so this is going to be very, very interesting. It would be really exciting if we got a safety car or something towards the end of the race, because that could turn things around, or possibly some rain, some weather. I'm not really seeing clouds right now, but that would be really exciting if that happened.
Yeah, it'd be kind of exciting. It looks like it's right to the end of the race, as everyone is doing their strategy at the moment. But yeah, they undercut their working retreat. I just noticed that as we were talking about other battles, that Perry took the lead there, and it looks like it's going to be an insane battle between the McLaren, the Ferrari, and the second McLaren. Two McLarens and Ferrari there, as they're battling for the final podium spot as Pitts for his strategy. We haven't really talked about the other drivers, the pack that we mentioned before as much, but Seagrass now, thereabouts in 13th, so that will be net 7th, as all of this is going on.
Yeah, so far it's been a very, very exciting race. There's been so much battling, and it's still going on. We've got these little trains of cars forming every couple of laps that are just locked into battling together, as we've got Dre going down the inside of Erect. He goes really wide there, and in the meantime, this was Flying Jippo was trying to overtake Flip-Flop, and he got a really bad exit. And Flip-Flop Fish is now trying to go around Dre, and Erect is not getting overtaken by Flying Jippo. Everything happening here. Flying Jippo gets a pretty good run here on Flip-Flop Fish as well. He might be able to get back behind his teammate again for another time in this race.
Yeah, it's an insane battle. Like, Erect was just minding his own business to the strategy. He was kind of corking the bottle between these three as all of that was going on, but they all kept it clean, and Dre is still in net place with all this is going on, as Fish is still trying to get past that McLaren, but Dre is now starting to be McLarens now all of a sudden, and is kind of holding him up for flying Jippo. So he can get past. I think they're just doing a strategic battle here for the two McLarens.
Oh, he locks up.
Yeah, it was flying Jippo that locks up there quite heavily, but Flipflopfish gets a great drive in the exit turn 1, gets a slipstream, he takes the lead, takes position, so to say, and now up into net P3. But Dre does have DRS, but doesn't have the straight line speed as what Flipflopfish would have had. So now has to save and conserve and do what he can to be able to get that position. But Flipflopfish now up in the position. Perry steals P2, as we were talking about this in the race. Coleman there. Flipflopfish up into that P3.
Yeah, so it looks like Perry is in the best position right now in terms of this race right now. He's got a little bit of clean air to run in, which is really nice around Austria. You can run some really quick, consistent laps here and catch up on the guys in front. He's already cut 0.3 of a second away, so he's trying to catch up on Frosthacker, who hasn't pitted yet, who's going to be taking these mediums a little bit farther into the race and then switching over to the softs. So he's going to have a chance, but honestly right now it looks like Perry is in a great position in this race. Hopefully we don't jinx that.
We mentioned that Perry got hit. Perry got hit by, I believe, one of either Coleman or Professional, and he lost a lot of time.
Well, he's still...
I don't know.
Yeah, he's still closing in on Frosthacker though, so he's still alright.
Kind of, but he lost a lot of time to Field UX. Is now within half a second.
Oh, flying Jippo goes around the outside of Dre here with a beautiful move. Yeah. That was out of nowhere. And flying Jippo is now on the attack on Flipflopfish.
Yeah, as we mentioned. Yeah, it's a great overtake there from Jippo getting past, but he's got very low ERS compared to Flipflopfish. If he wants to get that position, he needs to probably stay behind him for a few laps and not try and go for an attacking move. But as we know, Flying Jippo is known for attacking moves, so make that what you will, as he is trying to steal that P3 from Flipflopfish, but at the moment it's there or thereabouts for BLIN-MACHINE. He's trying to get past Professional for P3 there, but it's only half a second off Perry. Perry making, I don't know what happened there in turn 2 or turn 3. He kind of lost back in there and he lost a lot of time. And now
Failed UX is trying to attack, but he just can't get around 007 Professional. They're going into the next corner. He's going to try and go around the outside and then do a switch back into the inside. Not quite enough, but oh, they're pulling up side by side. This is a dangerous corner to run into side by side over here. Is there contact? There's no contact. Then Failed UX manages to keep the position, but then he gets overtaken again. And then
like this. It's crazy, but he's still going side by side, as you mentioned. And they're still going side by side, going into turn 9, but Professional still holds on to position. This is helping Perry a lot. Professional doesn't need to fight this battle. This is not his battle, but he's still giving it a go, which is fair enough, I suppose. Doesn't need to give up this position. But this is now allowing Perry to pull away, as he does so, and Failed UX gets the position. That was a very tough battle there. As Failed UX, Professional did not want to give up that position for whatever reason.
Absolutely, and now Coleman is catching up on him, and he's going to make a move around the outside into turn 2, but that doesn't work. They're coming into the next DRS zone now. Coleman is probably going to go for another move around here. Let's see what he can do. He's going for the outside into the next corner. No, he doesn't pull up enough, but he's going for a little bit of a switchback, and that's not enough either. So they're just going to keep on locked into this battle for another lap or so. Let's see how that turns out. Bam Bam is closing up on Flipflopfish, but in the meantime, Flying Jippo is overtaking him, and he does overtake him into the next corner here. And now Dre is catching up to Bam Bam as well. So this race keeps on getting developed more and more. Flying Jippo's got a little bit of damage on his front wing. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2 and 3. That's Jones having a little bit of a moment there. I'm not sure what happened. Bam Bam is on the hard tires. I mean, when is he gonna pit? He's been on them for quite a while. And I mean, he's gonna have to pit pretty close here, because otherwise he's gonna lose a lot of positions on track when he does.
Yeah, he does, but Frostacker still leads Grand Prix. Perry now still catching him 0.7 seconds of the gap. As we look at the top two, as Dre does get past Bam Bam, who's yet to pit, but and as we mentioned that Flip-Flop-Fish gets past Coleman, who's also yet to pit, as Flying Jippo is also now on the charge of trying to get past that Williams driver. As we head to lap 21 or 36, as Perry technically still leads the Grand Prix, but Frostacker leads the overall race at the moment.
Oh, and that was Flying Jippo going around Coleman. It looks like Coleman just let him pass there, or he might have had a little bit of an issue in that corner, and now Dre is going to be catching up to them as well. But in the front, in front of them, Flying Jippo has about a second gap to Flip-Flop-Fish, so he needs to catch up there. Dre ends up jumping Coleman as Coleman goes into the pits now, as well as Frosthacker does too. So it looks like everybody now has pitted in this race, except for 007 Professional and Bam Bam.
Professional yet to pit. Bam Bam, as you mentioned, yeah, yet to pit. He's still on those hard tires. Still going long, just trying to see if he can make a position on those hard tires when he does eventually pit. But now we look at, we're almost to the actual official order, as we get to see Professional pit in the Mercedes there. Flip-Flop-Fish has already caught up to him, as we've got Flying Jippo now. Needs to, if he wants to probably win, get that position from Flip-Flop-Fish, he needs to start saving his ERS, because I feel like at the moment Flip-Flop-Fish's ERS is almost 100%. So if Flying Jippo wants to win this race, he needs to save, well, win the race, get P3. He needs to save. But yeah, at the moment Perry leads from a 1.2 second gap. Belgivex and P2.
And Flip-Flop-Fish is closing in now on Professional. He's just 0.4 of a second behind. He's now 0.3 of a second behind, so this is going to be very exciting to watch. He again started on pole, but didn't really have a great first stint. Dropped a couple of positions before he made it into his pit stop, and since then he's just been fighting back through the field, trying to recover. He does go around Professional now, jumping into third position. He's got Failed UX in front of him, 0.8 of a second in front. Failed UX doesn't seem to be having a very good time on his tires either.
Yeah, but he did catch. You mentioned that, but then he did caught half a second in that last lap. So Feldrax is pushing now.
Absolutely.
He needs to. I think he's learned now to use his ERS and start pushing when he needs to, and just go for the move. But that's nearly good as his last race, and I think he's learned from his lessons from that with France. But yeah, Professional still ahead of Flying Jippo. There's Flying Jippo didn't get past Professional, so this
and still now he does go around him as Professional goes really wide into the last corner, and he still didn't pit there crucially either. So he's taking these tires really far, and he's risking losing a bunch of positions on track for having faster tires towards the end of the race here. But the lap is so short that I'm not really sure that's going to be a great strategy for him.
Yeah, it looks like Feldrax made an error there, because he was 7/10 in the lap previous, and he's now nearly 2 seconds in the back. So Feldrax making an error there, a rare error. He doesn't make many mistakes, but here now dropped down to 1.8 seconds. Now he's actually now close to Flip-Flop-Fish. Actually, Flip-Flop-Fish only 1.6 seconds off from second place there. Flying Jippo is there or thereabouts still. So we could see a battle develop there if LGX can't get Perry in the dying laps, the last 10 laps of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and RC is now starting to make his way through the field as well, trying to recover some positions. This is so far has been very interesting in terms of all the battling. There's been people locked into battles as Professional finally goes into the pits now. Flying Jippo is going to stay in fourth, and Dre is going to move up into fifth now. So again, the McLaren teammates are going to be right behind each other for another few laps here. So this is going to be very interesting to see if they're going to manage to catch up to each other and go into another battle. Failed UX, yeah, dropped back a little bit of time. He's 1.5 seconds behind Perry right now, and Perry, as I said earlier, is in a great position to win this whole race, possibly.
Yeah, he does. This time it'll be legitimate, because I don't think he has any penalties. I've not noticed Perry to get any penalties. I might be wrong, I haven't really checked. But yeah, Perry in a great position right now for the win on the Grand Prix with 10 laps to go, 11 laps to go, including this one. Flip-Flop Fish is still there or thereabouts. Can be able to probably nip second place if he can probably pick up the pace. But at the moment, it's looking like this is going to be the status quo if nothing happens. Flying Chipper has now dropped back a little bit from Flip-Flop Fish. Probably needs to start saving his ERS. I think I mentioned that earlier, but it's very low. It's only on like 9% compared to 94%. And he needs, if he wants to get any positions, he needs to start saving it.
Yep,
Perry still leads.
I'm watching Frosthacker here, who's switched over to a soft tire, and he's now making his way, catching up on RC7. He's closed in a lot of time. Meanwhile, RC7 is trying to close in on Bam Bam. So this is going to be a very interesting battle here as well. This is pretty much for 6th and 7th. And now we've got, a little bit of...
Auto retires. Virtual safety car is out.
Virtual safety car.
Yeah, Saltori retires in the middle of turn 9, well, just before turn 9. As we have a virtual safety car that neutralizes the race a little bit, could save ZRS, that being quite low. And yeah, as we mentioned, that Flying Bam Bam still yet to pit. Could pit now actually, get a cheaper pit stop than he would usually would, and try and minimize the have to do.
There's a lot of different ways you can play a VSC in this game, but on this track, it's a little bit tricky because it's so short. So yeah, there we go. Right now, VSC is already over.
Frosthacker attacking the almost taking the position from RC7 as we were looking into that. So RC7 nearly losing that position to Frosthacker there on the soft tires. Bam Bam doesn't pit, so he's still going out. He's still going out very long. He's still yet to pit. Is Bam Bam.
Yeah,
like 27.
He's giving them a run for their money.
Yeah, he is. But,
and now RC goes to the inside. Let's see if Frosthacker is going to try and follow. No, he doesn't. He goes behind them. RC makes a little bit of contact with Bam Bam. They're still budging each other as they're coming along. And now it looks like Frosthacker is going to try and follow through, and he's going to actually make an attack on RC, and they touch, and they have a half spin there, and RC keeps the position in front, but that lets Bam Bam get in front of Frosthacker. That was a little bit too late of a dive there.
Yeah, it was they touched. I think he was trying to like cut across effectively and just slightly touch the side pod of Frosthacker. Then he gives him in a half spin, but Frosthacker trying to go on the inside now. Does go on the inside. Takes the position of Bam Bam, but RC7 is still holding on to those positions. It's now dropping on a lot. Perry now 2.4 seconds is now the gap between top two now, as we mentioned all of that. So yeah, but going back to that, Frosthacker nearly losing a lot of positions there after that half spin that he did into the floor.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of time lost there, but now he's making a move on our C7 again into corner 2, and I think this one is gonna stick. They are side by side, but he's gonna have the DRS as well, so that's gonna be 6th position for Frosthacker now. Dre and Flying Jippo in front of him are getting away, so let's see if he'll be able to catch up on them. But Flip-Flop Fish is now trying to catch up on Failed UX. He was over a second behind, and now he's only 0.6 behind now, so he's going to be within DRS range, and this is going to definitely throw a little bit of spice into the end of the race here.
Yeah, I think Flip-Flop Fish is kind of struggling on tire temperature warm-up as Perry getting away there now, 2.4 seconds. And now this is a battle for second now for Failed UX, who was leading. He had a comfortable lead, but I think he went too long in that strategy, and that's where he is right now. In 2 is now is going to be put under pressure from Flip-Flop Fish for that position as Failed UX goes deep, unnecessarily deep, and Flip-Flop Fish now takes the position there as he does that another mistake from Failed UX, drops him down to position of 3rd place, and now Flip-Flop Fish up into 2nd place there. So a rare mistake there from Failed UX, going deep, and WS out Flip-Flop Fish now up into 2nd place.
Wow, that was very, very interesting and a little bit unexpected, definitely from failed UX especially. Not the kind of guy you usually expect to make those sort of mistakes, but yeah, anything can happen. This is league racing. This is why we're here. This is why we love it. If you guys are just joining now, you guys are missing out on a great race here. Rewind and watch it all again, because it's been very, very exciting. There's been battling all over the place. People have been locked with each other for half the race here in some cases. People have been making their way through the field, so it's very, very exciting. I haven't really had any major incidents, but a lot of touches, a lot of half-spins, and failed UX now is going to be trying to recover that position back from Flip-Flop Fish. Only 6 more laps to go as we're just getting into lap 30 of 36. So yeah, very exciting, and I'm interested to see what kind of other battling we're going to see here. Right now I think this is the closest battle we've got on track, with Failed UX and Flip-Flop Fish and RC7 and Frost Hacker. Oh, well, it looks like he dropped a position there, so that's not good.
Frost Hacker, RC7, but I'm still yet to hit. As we talk about that, we've got Perry now doing lead. Flip-Flop is slowly starting to catch the gap, starting to flex a little bit, trying to push. Failed UX still trying to push, but he spins again, he makes another error, and Flying Chipper takes P3, Failed UX spinning on the last turn of turn 8, or turn 9, and losing another position, another 2 positions. He's dropped down all the way back down to 5th place.
Wow.
As we mentioned there.
Yeah, that was, again, very unexpected error there.
As we see Flying Jippo spinning in the exit of turn 1, and now Dre is now up to P3, so space of 3 corners, we've got 2 cars now, 2 protagonists. Flying Jippo spins again, Flying Jippo spins again, as he's trying to get back onto the grass. He's just too much power, and he's dropped down to 8th place in the exit of turn 1. He was up to P3, and now he's dropped down to P9.
Just like that.
Just from making that one error.
And that allows Professional, Bam Bam, RC, Frosthacker, and everybody pretty much to move up, all the way down to Dre, who now moves up to 3rd position. Failed is running in 4th after he had a couple of moments of his own there. And Frosthacker up into 5th on his soft tires. He's got 5 laps more to try and catch up to Failed UX, who's not having a good time right now.
Yeah, from leading the race now, dropped down to 4th place. Now Dre's up to P3. We got Flip-Flop Fish now to P2. Gap's now 2 seconds. He's starting to eat into that gap of Perry there. Perry's still inheriting the lead. Not sure if penalties are still going to be applied in the last 4 laps. I haven't still checked. But yeah, after all that, surprising there that 2 of the title protagonists spinning in separate corners in more or less the same lap. And yeah, we got Dre now up to P3, Failed UX now dropped down to P4, Frosthacker now up into P5, only 4 seconds off Failed UX there now. Professional is there or thereabouts with RC7, only half a second gap there now at the moment, so top 4 covered by 9 seconds or so.
Yeah, that was a couple of exciting moments there in a span of like a lap and a half. I was not expecting any of it, but we actually managed to catch a lot of it on track here, so that was very good. But yeah, this is turning out to be a very interesting finish to this race. Failed UX is not going to be happy with this this performance in the last few laps here, so that's going to be unfortunate for him.
Yeah, making that long strategy error kind of put him in this position, but going deep in the exit 3, allowing Flip-Flop Fish to get that position earlier on, and now Flip-Flop Fish is only within 1.7 seconds, as we mentioned. Starting to catch Perry at a rate not 3 laps to go. He could probably make the move done before penalty applied, who knows. But Dre up into P3 now after the 2 spinners failed in Flying Chippo. He's now starting to cover from positions he's got past Coleman. As we got another battle there, Professional trying to overtake Frosthacker there. Frosthacker now dropped down to P6 as Professional up to P5, both on the soft tires of course, so both basically more or less in the stream strategy.
Yeah, Coleman made some contact there and he went wide, lost a bunch of positions. That allows Seagrace, Latope, and Hurricane to move up right now. That was a little bit unfortunate from him. Flying Jippo has damage on his front wing, and he's locking up into corners everywhere, so that's allowing Seagrease to really catch up now, just 0.2 of a second behind him. Frosthacker is catching up to Professional, so lots of different battling going out. Flip-Flop Fish is 1.4 seconds behind, but only got a couple more laps to go, so I don't think he's going to be able to catch up to Perry, but we're not sure about the penalty situation, so that's going to be very interesting to see at the end as well.
Yeah, I don't know when Bam Bam is going to fit.
Frosthacker spins and he hits the wall! Just as I switched on board with him, he spun out and hits the wall, and that lets RC7 move into 6th position, and Bam Bam moves up a position as well now. Yeah, oh, Lee, people are starting to lose it towards the end of the race here. What do you think this is down to, Dougie?
This is down to probably like a concentration of his tire wear. I think in Frosthacker's perspective, I think turn 1 is a very tricky corner, but Frosthacker now under pressure from Flying Jippo, as you mentioned, has damage. Latope now got past Seagrist and all of that, and now Bam Bam still yet to hit, by the way, in 7th place. So if Flying Jippo can get past, you can get a net 7th, but the moment Frosthacker is in that position, as we all mentioned that, 1.1 seconds is the gap between the top 2 with 2 laps to go. So to 3-second lead now drop down to 1.1 seconds for Flip-Flop Fish and Perry. But going back to this battle, you mentioned the toe now going the inside of Flying Jippo. Flying Jippo struggling with his damage from wing as
Bam Bam finally pits.
Bam Bam finally pits, but Seagrist takes an opportunity moves, goes down the inside of the exit turn 10, dropping Flying Jippo down to 11th place, which now goes back up to 10th place because of Bam Bam pitting. But now, at the moment, it is still the top now, the favourite to get 7th place. After all of that, he was running in 13th at one point with 4 laps to go, and now he's coming up to 7th. As he's still getting a great drive, and a great drive in the exit, and then Latope takes 7th place, and is now getting a thing. But
Frosthacker is fighting back.
Frosthacker does fight back. Frosthacker does have damage, actually. That's probably why he's struggling a little bit from that spin that he had earlier on. And Latope now takes 7th place from Frosthacker now. Frosthacker now down to 8th.
So Bam Bam is going to do less than a full lap on his tires.
He is, and we head to the final lap. It is Perry still leading away from Flip-Flop Fish. I have no idea if penalties have been applied. It looks like Perry has been clean the entire race, and Flip-Flop Fish has been more or less clean the entire race. This is actually just a two-man battle, but it looks like Perry is going to get his win. His first legitimate win, finally, of the season.
Wow, so that's going to be very exciting for him if he manages to keep this win here. A few more corners to go, and I gotta say, Flip-Flop Fish in his first race in this league has definitely impressed me. He managed to fight back through the field, and he managed to close in the gap to Perry. He was at a point there within just 0.3 of a second, but as we're coming around the last couple of corners here now, Perry is going to come around and finish and win this race for his first win in the league. Flip-Flop Fish is going to come around and take 2nd in his very first race in the league. So very, very impressive for him. As I said, Dre is going to finish 3rd. Another podium finish for him. Failed UX 4th. He's not going to be very happy with that, but still very good points for the championship. 007 Professional in 5th. RC7 manages to bounce back to 6th position, so gaining a couple of positions throughout the race. Not too bad there. Latope gets a great race there, finishing in 7th after starting down, I'm not sure exactly, I think it was like 13th or something. We've got rain coming down on the track now, right towards the end of the race. Seagrease finishes 8th, Frosthacker 9th, Hurricane 10th, Flying Jippo 11th, Jones 12th, Erect 13th, Bam Bam in 14th, M9 in 15th, Coleman in 16th, W in 17th, Red Wing in 18th place, and Hot Bread rounds out the last of the finishers in 19th place. And in 20th, we had Hotaru, the only person who didn't finish this race, unfortunately, here today. So, Dougie, what do you have to say about that race? That was so exciting.
There was a lot to talk about in the race. We didn't really talk about the midfield as much. It was all close all round. really. But yeah, the top six were fighting very close, very exciting indeed. It looked at one point Feldux was going to dominate the race, but ended up being Perry to the one to take the undercut, seize the opportunity, and win the Grand Prix. So Perry, congratulations to him, wins the Grand Prix from Flip Flop finishing second, starting fifth on the grid from Perry. So that's very impressive. Dre starting 10th on the grid, finishing third. We've got Feldux finishing there in a disappointing fourth place, you would imagine, after leading in the early phase of the race. Professional in fifth in the Mercedes, having a good run, starting 18th on the grid, finishing fifth. IC7 in sixth, the Top 7th. Seagrass 8th, Rosaka 9th, and SDK Hurricane in 10th, as you mentioned here. But yeah, it was a hectic race. Flying Jippo finishing 11th in that race. After one point, he was up into third, looking like he was probably going to eat into Feldx's championship lead. But instead finishes 11th with 0 points. So that's a shame for him. You got Erect Jones, Erect, Bam Bam, M9 Racing in 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Coleman 16th, W 17th, and the rest. I didn't check in time. But yeah, it was a crazy ass race.
Wow, and, yeah.
Crazy.
Just very close, as it usually happens in Austria here. It's not very easy to get away from drivers around here, so yeah, it definitely gave us a lot of different battling here today, a lot of excitement, a lot of moments, not too many major incidents, except for Hataru retiring. But other than that, we've had a couple of touches, a couple of battles that got really heated with half spins and little taps on the back. So yeah, it was very exciting. But overall, I think, you know, the most exciting thing about today was definitely the performance from some of the people like Flip Flop Fish, Dre Diggy, and Failed UX. A little bit of a not what we expected from him today. Had a couple of moments. It would be interesting to sort of know what happened there, but we're gonna get the podium finishers in with us here and talk to them and see what sort of race and what their impressions on the race were. Dougie, are you gonna go ahead and do that?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Alrighty, so we're gonna have our finishers with us here. So that's gonna be I mean our podium finishers, which is going to be Flip Flop Fish, Dre, and who was the winner again? Oh yeah, Perry, that's right.
Perry winning the race, yes.
And he's with us here now. Correct. Perry, congratulations on your win. Is this your first win in the league, am I right?
I mean, I've technically come across the line first a couple times, but yeah, this would be the first one, so...
Wow, man, congratulations. What are your thoughts after that race? How did you sort of manage to get into that position? Because, I mean, up until the pit stop, you weren't really in the main contention. You were definitely running in the main group up front, but it seemed like that pit stop really played a crucial point for you.
Yeah, I thought I was losing ground in the softs, and I was defending for my life for about anywhere at past lap 6 on the soft, so I felt that I needed to do something kind of drastic to try to put me in a better spot. So then I decided to undercut, come in lap 10, which was I think pretty early, but I figured I could manage the tires, and if it was going to rain at the end, that would be a pretty level the playing field at the end. So I came in lap 10 with Flip Flop, and the undercut was just massive. I mean, I think I was 4 or 5 seconds behind Failed. And I came up 4 or 5 seconds ahead of him, so that was pretty much the race. And then after that point, it became not necessarily trying to push myself to be faster than the guys behind me, but to not make mistakes and just be consistent, not pick up any stupid penalties. So that's pretty much what I did. I know Flip Flop was closing in on me. I think if there was another lap or two, he'd have probably caught me, but luckily for me, did only 36 laps, so it was a fun race. Had some pretty good battles early on. I hit Flying Jip at one point. I think it was like lap 2. I just missed my braking point and kind of bumped into him, so I do want to apologize to him. Hopefully he's listening. I'll probably say it in the chat anyways, but yeah, outside of that, it was a lot of fun, tough racing.
Yeah, congratulations, Barry, on your win. It looked like you're probably going to be happy with a podium here, but to end up winning the race after that bold undercut you did there, doing 4 laps longer than what Failed UX did, who was at the time the leader. Did you feel that that was going to be, you were going to do enough, that the tire was going to last? Did you feel that towards the end there, when you noticed that Flip-Flop Fish was catching you? Was it just tire wear, or was it just trying to bring it home and just get the win done, get the job done?
I knew that it would give me a pretty decent undercut. I didn't figure how much of an undercut it would be. I figured I would at least be maybe next to him, or maybe a little bit ahead of him, a little bit behind. I didn't think I would be that far ahead. And then, it was a moment where I think Coleman and then a Mercedes were just battling, who started on mediums. And I had to do some I made a pretty good double overtake in 2 turns to get through that traffic, which I think was huge. And then, talk about tire wear, the mediums, they do fall off at the end, but as long as you don't lock up the tires too much, any point in that second stint, they don't feel terrible. I'll be honest, I Flip-Flop, I think, was catching me just because he had better pace, but yeah, it was just being consistent and kind of not overdriving the car a little bit.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah.
All right.
But we'll go on to Flip-Flop Fish, who finished second in the race. Started on pole position with a great lap for 1:43, and ended up in second place after trials and tribulations in that. So, Flip-Flop Fish, talk us through your race.
Well, I'm pretty happy with this result. It was my first race with no ABS, but the soft stint felt awful. Like, I'd lose the rear every corner, so I lost the lead. I nearly lost it then to sector 2, coming off that corner. So I made an early pit stop. I think I pitted the same lap as Perry, and then I got booted from the lobby. Lost about 3 seconds to Perry, I'd say, and I just tried to catch up to him, but unfortunately I did not.
Well, that was very, very impressive from you today, especially in qualifying. You just came in and set the quickest lap by quite a margin, enough to keep you pretty much in pole position all the way until the end, but then you set a couple more quickest laps. Did you practice for this race today? Did you do a lot of sort of preparation, or what was the key?
I didn't really do much time trial and qualifying pace. I focused more on my long runs. Did some starts at the 100% races to try and learn how to not lock up under heavy fuel. So I didn't really focus on qualifying. I was actually pretty happy with my lap.
That's great, man. And honestly, for me, you were the driver of the day today, just because, it's really nice to see when new drivers come in out of nowhere and they sort of set a challenge for the rest of the league. So how do you think the rest of the season is going to go for you? You're coming in halfway through the season. You got a pretty good feel for the level and the skill of the drivers today. So where do you think you're going to be aiming for?
Well, since it's my first race no ABS, I feel like I'm just going to get better every week. Hopefully maybe get a top 3 in the drivers, but...
Alright. Dougie, any questions?
Yeah, I've probably got one question. So, yeah, as you mentioned, you're getting up to P3, you did disconnect and ending up with the battle with McLarens, because that was actually a very intense battle between you and the 2 McLarens, because that was pretty much your story of your entire race before you ended up coming up to try and challenge the lead. Talk us through that. Was it a bit shaky for you? Was it a bit intense, especially with landing with no ABS? The battle, how was it?
It wasn't that bad. Jippo was talking. We were in game chat. He was talking about how his tires were falling off, and then Dre, I think he went wide after he overtook somebody, so I got past him, and then those 2 started battling, and I just got a lead on Jippo, and he couldn't catch up, and then eventually he spun after being too overzealous about his championship rival. I think his name is Failed. He spun. He spun about 2 corners later. So after that, I just started focusing on Perry as Jippo spun.
Well, congratulations to P2 on your debut race, as we head to Dre for P3. After lucking out of 2 errors from, as mentioned earlier, from Failed UX and Jippo in the dying laps, Dre ends up stealing that P3. Congratulations. Talk us through your race, because it was also quite intense as well. You were also in that battle, as I mentioned, with Flip-Flop Fish, and it looked like you were fighting your own teammate almost the entire race. So talk us through it.
Yeah, so I started P10, so I didn't really think I was going to make it to podium, to be honest with you, unless there was like a safety car or something. Anyway, the race started turn 1. There was a big pile up there. I'm not sure what happened. I think Jones got involved in that, and I passed like 2-3 cars right there. And I just had the grip on the early segment and be able to capitalize on other mistakes. And next, I found myself battling in the top 5 with my teammate and then the Ferraris, and I could see Fail just up the road. He wasn't that far. I would say about 3 seconds ahead. I think we all had similar pace for the most part, just how we got started off. We were discussing the chat between me and my teammate when we were battling with the Ferrari about who get the pits first, and fortunately I got luck out on that and I pitted first and tried to get the undercut. And it kind of worked out well because I found myself in front of the Ferrari and I had the effective 3rd place at the time. But those guys put a lot of pressure, and I honestly decided not to battle them too terribly hard. I just wanted to take the points and call it a day. And so I kind of stuck behind them for the most part and just tried to bring the car home. And, unfortunately failed, and Jippo spun out, and I was able to capitalize on that. So for the most part, I just trying to keep my head down and keep the car on the track because I knew everyone's tires was falling off and we was expecting rain. As soon as I crossed the line, actually the rain started coming down. So that was just perfect timing. I just kind of kept my nose dry and keep on the track as much as possible. A little battle here and there, but I didn't want to overdo it. I just wanted to bring the car home, and we managed to get 3rd place.
Yeah, great job, man. Congratulations on the podium finish. Another podium finish for you this season. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to give you a good little boost in the standings for the championship. But in terms of your battling on track today, a lot of it was with your own teammates. Do you guys sort of discuss a little bit of that strategy going into the race, or is that just something that you guys are, open to battling on track?
Yeah, I don't think there's really much team orders. I think we try to be conscious of not obviously wrecking each other. We're still competitors. We have respect for each other. There's no coordination, but we were talking in the chat for a little bit there. And when I felt like he had the best run, and when we're heading to a corner, I will let him by. And he did the same thing for me. Like I said, we did kind of have a little discussion about who should pit first. I was ahead at the time. He's technically the #1 car, but we both have wins, so and we're really close to points. So I had the advantage, so I went to pits, and other than that, we had a pretty good battle. Unfortunately, he did spun out like a couple laps to go, but he would have been P3 right now.
Yeah,
overall, good day.
Yeah,
for McLaren.
All right, perfect. So I think this is going to round up the post-race commentary. Thank you again for the podium finishers for joining us. And we will see you guys next week for in 2 weeks for another Golden Class race. But tomorrow we will be back here again for the TCR Grand Prix in Austria this season. It's going to be very, very exciting, a little bit of a different format than what you guys are usually used to, so definitely join us in tomorrow. And thanks to everybody who's been watching the stream. Please remember to subscribe to the channel to see more League Racing content. In the booth with you guys again today were BLIN-MACHINE and Dougie. Thank you so much again for joining me out as always.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks again, everyone. Have yourselves a great night. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we will see you all here tomorrow night for another exciting TCR race. Have yourself a great night, and see you soon.
Peace.